Hello and good evening, and a very warm welcome to a special program called Cricit Predicta on NewsX, powered by 1xBet. Well, in yesterday's IPL clash at the Chepauk, the defending champions Chennai Super Kings secured their third win of the season by defeating Kolkata Knight Riders by 7 wickets, opting to bowl first. Chennai restricted Kolkata to 137 for 9 with impressive bowling performance from Ravindra Jadeja to Tushar Deshpande, both claiming 3 wickets each. Chennai chased down the target comfortably with 17.4 overs, with captain Rituraj Gaikwad shining with a 50. Ravindra Jadeja, the all-round performer, earned him the Player of the Match award. Turning on to our attention for today's fixture, Punjab Kings will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad at the Maharaja Yudhvendra Singh Stadium at Mohali. Both teams have won 2 of their 4 matches this season. In the history of IPL, Sunrisers has dominated the encounters against Punjab, winning 14 of the 21 matches played between them. Mohali's fast and bouncy pitch may offer advantage to the bowlers, particularly the pacers. The team might be preferring to bowl the first to exploit the condition. It promises to be an exciting showdown between the 2 evenly matched teams. Well, we have 4 of the eminent panelists with us for the tournament, for the match today, and also for our show. We are joined by Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, the coach of Virat Kohli, Paul Dinette, the ever-smiling Aussie from down under, Stanley Chiozza from Harare with his wonderful team jersey, and David Brooks, the Englishman in London. Well, that's the Sting song, but not quite appropriate to David. We're going to go first on to the pitch. Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, you were there when the first ball was bowled, and I welcome you on the show. Sir, how does it look? How does the pitch look? What are the boundary dimension? I'm told that it is little larger, longer, bigger as compared to the other IPL pitch. Just take us through the pitch.
Yeah, Sunil, you are right. I was there when the opening was done, and the first match was played in Punjab. That was Delhi and Punjab, and Punjab won that game.
Right.
And looking at the wicket, wicket looked very good, but it looked good for batting. Though the boundaries are slightly bigger, and
Yes.
but it is going to help batsmen more because it looks like a batting-friendly wicket. And you can get some help if you have got the, if you swing the ball, if you are able to swing the ball. But with such heat, I think it is going to be difficult for the medium pacers to get some swing on this ground. So I think overall it is going to help batsmen, and it could be a high-scoring game.
It could be a high-scoring game, but at the same time, the team winning the toss will just go in for the batting, as we understand from your pitch assessment?
Not necessarily. If the dew isn't, if the dew is not coming there, then then they would prefer to bowl first, because then the wicket wicket will not deteriorate. It will play the same, and it is always better, to chase, Sunil. So every team prefers to chase unless and until it feels that the wicket will go slow. So I think here, looking at the conditions, I think the captain winning the toss might be tempted to bowl first and chase the target later.
I just wonder what makes it. Stanley Chiozza, you are one of the coaches, and you've coached your life, all the junior players from Zimbabwe. Just take us through. Why is it so interesting and so tantalizingly cool to be chasing in the 20-over match under the floodlight in India? What do you read? What do you make up of the pitch, the playing condition, especially when you have that perspective from abroad about the Indian pitches?
Well, look, at the end of the day, it's not about being cool as per se, but obviously chasing under lights is also a good thing. But one thing that I know is, obviously, when you're really unsure about the toss, you're better off bowling first, right, and then coming to bat, because What it means is you get an opportunity to see what the batting the first team does, and then you can always take a leaf of that. And obviously, when you take a leaf, you can always try and go one better. So it's not really about being cool under lights, but it's just an opportunity to say, look, let's have a look and see what this wicket plays. And should it misbehave, you're better off a wicket misbehaving while you're bowling as opposed to be batting first.
Well, a pitch misbehaves. What do you do then? Well, Paul Dinette, you have Punjab Kings right up with Shikhar Dhawan, Prabsimran Singh, Shashank Singh, Sam Curran. Shikhar Dhawan at the top of the order with 138 runs in 4 innings and a very exciting strike rate of 131 runs. What do you make of the Punjab batting lineup in today's match?
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup, and I think that they're probably hoping to get a little bit more out of their overseas players, and that's probably something that probably excites their fans, that if their overseas players do start to perform a bit more and to chime in with the likes of Shashank Singh, then they could really start to perform well. It's interesting that even though both of these sides are in very similar conditions, that they're sort of both two wins and 2 losses, there's a sort of a feeling, I think, that Sunrisers Hyderabad are a team on the way up, whereas Punjab Kings, I was looking at some of the markets here, that already they're only given a kind of about a 2 to 3% chance of winning the overall IPL, whereas SRH more like a 9 or a 10% chance. So big game for the home side today, I think.
Well, absolutely. That's an interesting. Just take us through the demarcation and the market valuation that you managed to get. Interesting figures they were. Just take us through. Just shed some light.
Yeah. So at the moment, the sort of experts are sort of saying, I'm just looking at them here, that
Right.
Rajasthan Royals are the most favoured to win, just ahead of CSK, just ahead of KKR, and then a little bit of a gap to Lucknow in 4th place. Then Sunrisers Hyderabad are given an 11% chance of winning the overall competition, whereas Punjab down about a 2.5% chance. Now, that can change quickly. The one that's a real worry for me is that they give Delhi less than 0.5% chance. So as a big fan of Ricky Ponting, things aren't looking good for the Capitals.
Well, there's always a question on Ricky Ponting's coaching abilities. Of course, that's another topic for another day. But right now, we'll go back to the big coach himself, the internationally renowned coach, Mr. Rajkumar Sharma. Sir, Sunrisers Hyderabad, what have they got right? Just let's talk elementary, sir. They've got the Klassens of the world. They have the Abhishek Verma, Makram, Travis Head. And at the same time, they have Pat Cummins and Shahzad Ahmed, Natu also there, and Jaydev Unadkat. What have they been getting right so that they've been in the semi-final or the top 4 in the last 8 appearances? Just tell us, what have they got right which Delhi and Bangalore, your 2 favorite teams, haven't got it right?
Sunil, they've got a tremendous batting lineup. The way Abhishek Sharma is batting and with the Travis Head, they're giving brilliant start, and they are the best, I would say, pair who is capitalizing on the power play. So, I mean, they're getting brilliant start. Then they have got Makaram, they have got Klaasen. Both are in tremendous form. So that makes this side look very, very, strong. And on the bowling part also, they have got good bowlers in Cummins himself is there. Jaydev Unadkat, with his experience, he's doing so well, for them. So overall, if you see, I think this time SRH is looking as good as Rajasthan Royal, and I would rate them very high this time, because I feel personally that they stand a very good chance this time to make it to the semi-finals at least. From there on, what happens in nobody knows.
Yes, semi-final at least. Especially at a time, you're very right when you say that they've got a mojo. And that mojo, you don't know what exactly it is, but they've been consistently scoring. Especially when you don't mention someone like Abhishek Sharma, who's number 2. Because the Klassens of the world, the Maiden Makrams of the world, the Travis Heads of the world are so big that you forget the number 2 batsman there called Abhishek Sharma. 161 runs, 4 innings. And sir, he's got a strike rate of 217. I mean, what is the confidence in the dugout when you have 4 guys who are performing and their highest run getter is 177, the second highest is at 161, the third is at 121, and the fourth is at 112. I mean, amongst all four. And we are talking about just the 4 matches. Do you think the dugout is full blown with confidence? It's like a mobile phone with completely turbocharged.
Definitely, it is. The kind of start Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma is giving, they are just giving the momentum to the team. And then they have those big hitters. So, Sunil, the team is really looking very confident, very well-knit team. It's playing like a unit, So that is very important. That is why I'm saying they stand a very good chance because they have got everything. They have got a very balanced bowling attack as well as the hard-hitting batsmen, big
Right.
hitting batsmen. So they look a very dangerous side.
Well, absolutely. David, on the other hand, you've joined us back. It's always nice to have David back in the conversation. But the reason for his suddenly disappearance was a power cut in London. Is that true?
Outage. That's right. Had an outage. I think it was just in my street.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't know what it feels to have a power cut in India, but nice to hear that in London. But coming back to Shikhar Dhawan, David, Shikhar Dhawan has scored 138 runs and he's like an old horse being flogged and that's all he has. And the other guys don't even make it to a 3-digit thing other than Prabh Singh at 105, barely just crossing the 100 line. Rest everybody is either at, they're at 91, 92, that's all we're looking at. Do you think it's a cause of concern for Punjab when you don't have top 4 and out of top 4, 3 don't work?
Well, yes, I mean, it is a cause for concern. But on the other hand, they bat deep, don't they? Because we saw what happened with Shashank Singh and Sharma, Ashutosh Sharma in the last game. I mean, he came in at number 9 and scored 31.
Right.
And so they have got I was impressed by how deep they went, how they never took defeat.
Yes.
Even though they were written off halfway through that innings. And so Shashank Singh, I know he's no youngster. I know he's not like he's a new name, but he'll get some confidence from that. The team will have some momentum going into this. And the home advantage seems to be a key factor in this tournament so far. The crowd getting behind has to play a part. And I missed most of what Mr. Raj Kumar said, but I heard a bit about it will favour the batting today. So maybe, just maybe, if it's not swinging or seaming, maybe we'll see Bairstow score some runs. He's been very disappointing so far. We've seen his weakness against the moving ball, but maybe he can offset. Shikhar Dhawan, he's shone briefly, but he seems a shadow of the player that he was.
What about the other Englishmen who don't even resemble what they were just 6 months ago? Yeah.
Any team with 3 Englishmen in it is always going to be a risky option. Livingston, will he play today? He was injured in the last game. I think he's overrated personally. I think the way he gets out, I think he'll be found out pretty soon in this competition. Sam Curran's been disappointing too. So it's interesting that it's the Indian players who've had to come to the rescue in the last match. So they'll take some comfort from that, won't they, going into this game today?
David, very pointed, but the Punjab Kings have very good lineup of Rabada with 6 wickets in his 4 outings. He's got a very nice economy rate of around 8. Harpreet Brar, again, one of the very miser bowler, very frugal in his approach. He's bowling really nice with an economy of 5.69. Sam Curran, again, much to be expected. So is Arshdeep Singh with 4 wickets in 4 innings. Do you think they still have a punch or something when it comes to their bowling? Or
I do. I think the bowlers, they're a decent bowling side. I've been impressed with Harpreet Brar. And they've got, of course, Arshdeep as well there potentially too. So Chahar's done well. So, I think as support for Rabada, it's a good bowling team. Whereas possibly the weakness in the Sunrise is in the bowling, although with the honourable exception of Pat Cummins, he continues to show his skill as a captain as well as a bowler.
Absolutely.
One performing Aussie in the tournament so far.
Yeah, let that be answered by our Aussie podcaster and a friend. Paul Dennett, Pat Cummins, 5 wickets in 4 innings. Do you think he'll cut loose today? Because he's got an economy rate of 7.75, but the strike rate isn't good at all. Your views?
I really admire what he's done because he's a strike bowler in Test cricket, a wicket taker and kind of the leader of the attack. And he's swallowed his pride and he's bowling in the middle overs. He's bowling a lot of pace-off deliveries, a little bit like another Australian, Josh Hazlewood, had to do when he came to the IPL. But what works elsewhere in other forms of cricket, in the blowtorch of the talent that's on show, it's a difficult place for fast bowlers to play with the short boundaries. He has had to find a different way to do things. And the one positive is from an Australian point of view.
Very interesting point you raised. And I must switch over to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma. If a coach decides to get the most decorated skipper / fast bowler in the middle overs and not on the top, what goes in the mind of the coach and the think tank that they ask one of the globally renowned bowler to come down? Is it because of the current conditions, or how difficult is it for a coach to do that? Your views, sir?
No, I think it is a strategy. Sunil, it always happens according to a strategy, a planning. They have all the teams have a team meeting before the match, maybe a day prior, day before the match, or the same day in the morning. So then that time they decide about the nature of the wicket, that it is not going to help the seamers. So the champion like Cummins comes in between the overs with his experience, So not necessarily, because Indian wickets are not supporting the fast bowling too much. And that is why you see a lot of slower ones being bowled, and people like Mohit Sharma, Sandeep Sharma, Jaydev Unadkat, they have all been very successful because they are bowling slow and they're using cutters, bowling slow bouncers. So Cummins also have realized that it is not these are not the wickets where he should go all out to bowl 140 plus and getting hit. Rather, he is bowling slow, he's bowling cutters, and he's doing very well for the SRH, I must say.
Well, very interesting. Stanley Chiodza, do you want to share any of the facts that we don't know of today's matchup? What is the matchup that you have in mind in today's between the two, PBKS and SRH? Impact players?
Well, I'll continue, especially with the talk on Cummins. Cummins has got a very good record against Johnny Bairstow and Dhawan. Yes. And would you believe, in 25 balls he's bowled to each of these batsmen, he's taken them out twice for less than 16 runs for Bairstow and 31 to Dhawan. So it's quite an interesting matchup. But then now, with the change in role that Pat Cummins has taken, as opposed to bowling a lot more of his overs in the power playing and shifting into the middle period, it's quite an interesting matchup. Does he start with the new ball to someone like a Dhawan, or does he hold back? But you see, when these numbers are there, you're tempted to ask him to take the new ball, isn't it? But look, his run rate, his economy has come down by virtue of the fact that he's now bowling a lot of these overs in the middle period, where you has lots of protection, and that means those slow bowlers, those cutters, are not effective because you've got protection on the boundary.
Well, you've got the protection on the boundary, but at the same time, let's look at the coaches and the support staff is also very interesting when we have it here. What do you think, the batting coach for Kings 11 Punjab? Sir, when you have Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, when you have someone like Wasim Jafar, who's like a king at the domestic level, how difficult is it for him to change gears and tell people to just go and explode in the first power play? Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, do they change their thinking? Yes, go on.
It has to change, that is what the coach has to do the homework now, and he has to also evolve. Though he was a tremendous test cricketer, but now he knows the need of the hour. He knows how to, ask his players to cash on the power play. And I think he's doing his job very well because he knows the game very well.
Well, absolutely. Daniel Vittori, Simon Helmet, Emang Badani, Mutaya Muralidharan, James Franklin. Paul Dinette, what do you make of the Sunrisers Hyderabad? Because they've got people from all across, all nationalities. It's like the United Nations of cricket in the support staff. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, and I think that Vittori and Cummins, I know Cummins is on the field, but those two, I think, are forming a really good partnership, much like Cummins and Andrew McDonald has formed with the Australian side. And I think that if the way that Cummins likes to lead, it's a very collegiate, very calm atmosphere. And I think Vittori is the perfect person to be in that way as well. That the Australians went in a very different direction from the very passionate way that Justin Langer was leading the side. And it's a very different to a kind of, opposite to the football mentality that you sometimes have. So I could imagine that Vittori and Cummins, especially you look at Vittori, you wouldn't know whether the side's winning or losing. They're very, very calm. And I think that's the right way to play in the modern game.
I wonder what would Stanley Chiozza be like if he's in the dugout. Would you be as animated as Jose Mourinho or would you go the Daniel Vittori? And then I'll ask the same question to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, who hopefully will make his debut sometime in future. Stanley Chiozza.
Well, look, it's. I think coaching is like wine, or a brand of whiskey. The older you get, the better you become. So obviously, the younger you are, you're animated because you're seeing all this happening. You would have talked about it, and you're expecting something, to happen or not to happen. But the older you get, the more experience you get, you turn to accept things as they happen a lot better. So, I mean, I like to think at the moment I'm a demanding coach. I like to demand a responsibility. I like to demand results from players. But obviously, towards the end of my career, I don't see myself being that sort of coach as time goes on.
So you're nowhere near to Ashish Nehra brand of coaching.
Yeah, not really. Like maybe Andy Flower.
Maybe Andy Flower. Well, he's had a great impact on the global cricket.
Yeah, maybe Andy Flower. Because I'm really particular with process.
Lovely. I'll go back to Mr. Rajkumar Sharma. Mr. Rajkumar Sharma, you're definitely not very kind and an affable and a very smiling, and we know what you do to your club team usually and your corporate cricket team when you have to give them lessons. Just tell us, if things are not going your way, you are in an IPL dugout, hypothetically speaking, things are not going your way, how would you react? Would you just keep quiet or you just start the Delhi way?
Look, Sunil, all those who are playing IPL, they are all professionals. They have played good class of cricket and they are pretty mature guys. You don't have to be very strict with them. You have to be, they don't need a lot of coaching. It is the man management. You have to take best out of them and you have to just regroup them. You have to give them their responsibilities and, you have to tell them their roles in the team. And they are good enough players. So it is not much about coaching in IPL. I must say that the people who are getting so much of money, they are very lucky that they are getting so much money for this. But it is rather a man management job because they are all tremendous players who are playing there. So the job of the coach is just to form a strategy, just to tell them their role and, take best out of them.
Paul Ginnett, there's 6 support staff and the coaches from Australia. Tell me one coach that comes to your mind that wouldn't fit even if he's a blockbuster name. We know one. Just name. It's a curveball.
I think that most Australian coaches would fit. I think, I'm not sure who you're actually referring to. I know that
Greg Chappell. We're talking about Greg Chappell in today's IPL.
Oh, Greg Chappell, of course. Of course. He had such a wonderful tenure in his time in India. And I think he and Sachin Tendulkar regularly exchange birthday greetings. And it's a funny thing that Greg Chappell and Ian Chappell, both so dogmatic, they call it as they see it. And I think Greg Chappell had some good ideas, but he needed to implement them much more slowly, and he went a little bit too quickly to try to get them done. It's funny because he's a wonderful player, but in India his reputation is just as a bad coach.
You're the second person in this world who can defend Greg Chappell coaching, but if he was to coach an Indian side, which side do you think would best be suited for him?
Oh, I think it'd have to be Mumbai Indians, I think.
Well, on that note, we just skip our Cricket Predictor question of the evening. Well, that's all we had time for. I thank all my guests for joining us. Keep watching NewsX.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.